That's way too big. Just a second. Got to change that. Alright, welcome back to hopefully a functional stream. I lowered the bitrate a bit. Hopefully that makes it a bit easier for OBS to work. Just get right back into this. I think I have everything set up properly. Turn that off. Good thing I checked. Alright. Just doing more attempts of this. So hopefully we actually get past Chimney. That's the main goal, I suppose. I mean, other than actually finishing the run. So a few things that I've learned from the last stream is that Industrial is a lot harder than I thought it was. Lots of lizards just all over the place. Maybe I can afford to take it a bit slower if it means like actually getting to finish a run. Like I could spend a few minutes like trying to like kill a few lizards or wait for them to pass out of the way. Because that was a big problem where I would try to rush kind of going along the routes that I would always take through Industrial. That would kind of eventually lead me into a room full of lizards where I would die because I would just kind of try to run past them. So perhaps I will try to avoid that and just like take it slowly and like fight every lizard individually. Don't let them like really pile up. Of course, this is a lot more difficult in some rooms than others, like the one with the red lizard in it. Yeah, I messed up both of those. Because that room, you kind of have to make it cross quickly before the red lizard can catch up to you, but that doesn't really give you enough time to create spears or to like prepare to fight any of the lizards are in that room. And also the terrain is quite uneven. Also in last stream, I died twice in Chimney, which I wasn't expecting because that was supposed to be the easy part of the run. With a Vulture Mask, I wouldn't have to worry about lizards at all, but of course I died to a Scavenger and a Vulture. He saw me. Okay, it's fine, he can't get up here. We leave that Karma Flower for next, or after we Karma Cache, because it goes away if you starve. Which is about as bad as it could have gone. He's injured now. So I will stab him twice here. I'll miss one of them, just to be extra safe. Okay, that's good. I mean, like, kind of slow. I definitely could have hit that white lizard easier if I lined it up better, but, you know, their movements are a little bit chaotic. So we Karma Cache just once, actually, to get up to 3 Karma. And then we, actually, I think twice, because I plan on not sheltering in Chimney. Maybe a bad idea if I'm going to die there, or since I have died there in previous runs. We'll see. Then after this, we Karma Cache. Hello, welcome to the stream. I always forget to create spears here. So you have a little bit of time in the shelter, but I guess I don't need them, right? I can just pick up the spear and rock. Okay, that's not great, but okay, nice spear throw there. Nice jump. I'm gonna keep going, just because I only lost like not too much time there, and I should be able to get the karma flower back. A nice spear there. Wow, good dodge too. I mean, just keep going. Not great, but I guess I'm kind of thinking of not like restarting runs as much today, just so that I can actually finish one. For a lot of speedruns, it's not about finishing a run; it's about finishing a good run, right? And so if you if you ever make like major mistakes, you want to reset so that you can make progress towards getting that good run. But for Spear Master and, well, a lot of Rain World speedruns, it is just about trying to finish a run in the first place. This is how it's been as Spear Master. I'm sure that if I spent enough time on this run, I would eventually want to, you know, reset more often and look for like an ideal scenario. But not now. And that's not really been my goal. A dropper. So I'm gonna create spears before entering this room. So there can be multiple creatures in here. This is not that the dropper isn't in this room. It'd be more annoying to deal with. Now I don't see any creatures, so they're all probably piled up later in the region. There's one lizard. There's two lizards. They both hear me. Oh, good thing I just happened to pick up a rock. You don't need a spear for this, but I like to use it just because I suck at making that jump consistently. This guy might follow me back. Seems to have forgotten though. Okay, this is not a great spot to be in. I'll wait for this lizard to pass. Waiting for a vulture there to come down and kill me instantly. Well, it's going to kill those poor lizards instead. Okay, I wanted to throw that spear instead. But I guess it stunned them for long enough to not notice me. Until now. Okay, making it past industrial first try. That's kind of what happened last time, right? I made it through industrial really easily, and then every other attempt was more difficult than the last. So it's probably going to get worse from here. Hope you're excited. But right now I have to fight a vulture. And hopefully not several vultures. Although I do have a strategy to deal with that somewhat. Because once you stab a vulture with like several spears, it kind of becomes injured and it's hard for it to fly away. And in that scenario, you can wait for the second vulture to run away to finish off the... There should be a vulture now. It's a king vulture. Kind of good, kind of bad. It's harder to fight, but it's also... It also has a better mask. Don't run away. That's a second king vulture. Okay, I think it's injured enough to not be able to fly away, so I'm just gonna wait for the second vulture to leave, or maybe to grab the vulture grub. I think they're fighting each other. Okay, that one should fly away. First one is still 2 injured. That's another vulture. I don't know if that's the same one or if it's a new one. That's a new vulture. Not a king vulture this time. That's 4 separate vultures in a single room. A lot of fun. I can't seem to grab the mask. I think it's still alive. Usually when they're dead, their mask falls off like immediately. Okay, now it's stuck. Hello? Why is this the hardest mask to take off? There we go. That took a lot longer than it should have, but we still got it, so I guess that's a good thing. Ooh, noodle fight. Noodle fight. Also, this mask does not help at all against scavengers, vultures, spiders, so and dropwigs, so it's not completely free, but since lizards are the main threat in this area, it helps out a lot, as well as the wall. You don't need a spear for this, but it makes it easier, but I still messed it up. Watch now that I have a vulture mask, there's not going to be nearly as many creatures as you would find normally. I remember in one of my previous attempts, I got really lucky with the vulture fight, and I didn't even have to kill the vulture, I just took the mask off immediately and ran away. Which does save a lot of time. That whole, like, several minute long process of getting that mask and running away from those other vultures, that would have been skipped. But that's another vulture in this room. So I'm going to, I think as Spearmaster and, like, Hunter Survivor, it's better to take more pipes in this room than to climb the poles, if possible. As Rivet or Artificer, it's probably faster to take the poles since you can use your movement to navigate them faster. This room is not, we're not out of the danger yet. Oh yeah, for the first time in one of these attempts, I've actually made it to the wall on the first try. That's nice. The next major danger is king vultures on the wall, as well as scavengers. And time, we're totally good on time. Scavengers aren't the main problem. The last few rooms of the wall, as well as the entire stretch at the top, usually filled with scavengers that want to kill you. Be cool if the mask acted like a shield. Kind of would, like, that kind of makes sense, right? Because it acts as a shield for the vultures. Maybe that'd make it too powerful to be effective against lizards and scavengers. But I mean, anything that helps against scavengers would be really appreciated. It'd also be nice for Artificer, since I also get a... I really don't like this. So I don't know if any lizards saw me without the mask. By Scion Lizard. There's a vulture up there, by the way. There's a lizard in this tunnel. They should be scared of me when I enter. Now, actually having a King Vulture mask here makes this a lot easier. Lizards have this kind of fear timer where once they see you with a Vulture mask, they run away for a certain amount of time. I think for regular Vulture mask, it's about 17 seconds. Once that timer runs out, okay, they're distracted. They are no longer scared of you. They realize that you're just a slug cat, and they act like normal. With the King Vulture mask, I think it's extended to 30 seconds. So that's the kind of time that you want to have to get to this room. Because like, there's not many rooms where you spend that much time. And the Scion Lizards are mobile enough to actually catch you if once the fear wears off. But that doesn't usually happen with a King Vulture mask. But of course, as you saw earlier, that makes it a lot harder to actually get the mask in the first place. Here's where the scavengers might be a problem. Get out of the way, thank you. I don't see any scavengers yet, which is a good sign. Usually they like to spill out into this room. And go. Once I get past these two white lizards that should be in this room, or maybe they were lowered in the room. Don't die to that pole plant by grabbing it or getting launched out of the room. No lag, that's what we're hoping for. But also don't mention it too much. I went way too high there. Do the regular strat since I'm already right here. So before entering this room, create some spears. If there's a scavenger standing like right at the entrance, or like the exit of the pipe. I guess every pipe is kind of an entrance and an exit. So once you see one scavenger, that means that there's going to be more. Usually. I guess I'll have to see. There's nothing yet. Maybe at the end of the room. And this pearl has not been taken yet. I'm not befriending them. No, it just takes too much time. The amount of like spears and pearls and overseer eyes that you have to give them to be like 100% sure that they're not going to kill you just takes way too much time compared to the like second that it takes to stab them with a spear. And if you get lucky, you don't really have to deal with them at all, of course. Okay. I don't know if I want the shelter here. I feel like I shouldn't, right? Like, what are the chances that I mess up? I mean, there's actually a non-zero chance that I mess up the pebbles skip. is what I've been calling it. I guess it doesn't hurt at all for me to take the shelter. Yeah. Like, I'll just get the popcorn plant, like, 20 seconds. I think someone said there's, like, about 20 seconds that you lose per sheltering. I forget what it is exactly. And I guess the, like, hesitation it contributes to, but... Oh, throwing that spear actually slowed me down. But there we go. That's all the time lost for potentially saving the run. Although, of course, at another time loss. It's been a while since I've been here in a run. That's good. I think the skip has felt somewhat random. Like sometimes you just don't really have enough time. Oh, I still slowed down so much and I was going too fast. Okay, I threw some pearls out of the way. If he stays exactly in that position, I would like that. Just don't move. He moved further away. Okay, that was slightly stressful. That's exactly the scenario that you don't want. Because I was on the opposite side of the room of him when he dropped the pearl, and then he dropped the pearl into a big pile of other pearls. But luckily, most of those other pearls, I think they just floated away in the low gravity, so I could actually grab this one. But that could have gone bad. But I guess it was good that I took the shelter anyway, then. That's how it happened. Also, I don't jump that far down. Now we just go through pebbles. Pretty chill break in between getting past all the lizards. Although this run has actually been pretty chill so far. Like, I just haven't really seen as many creatures. I guess I was pretty lucky. Small mistake here. Now I need to see if I can remember exactly how to navigate this region. I like how you can utilize throw boost in this run though, because you can pretty much always have access to something to throw boost with. And floating around in 0G gives you opportunity to create spears. So we want to go over here. Don't accidentally grab a neuron here. Inspector will get mad. Is this too low? No, it's actually perfect. From here we want to go down and then up here. Okay, that's actually a good way to do it. I should have been doing that before. From here we go down further. Turbos with the pearl, yep, definitely. Oh, I built up all that speed and then it was immediately thrown away. I think this is fine. I'll just throw it to the side at the last second. I didn't need to throw it there. Why is this guy mad? Excuse me. Oh, I didn't do anything. I must have thrown a spear down to the bottom of the room and it hit a neuron. Okay, I guess I should be careful with that. I didn't think there was an inspector in that room. Luckily, it wasn't that much of a problem. That guy could have... I thought he was going to grab me when I went through the second time, but... kind of gave up. Or just couldn't get to me in time. Plenty of room. Okay, come on. There we go. Waving the spear around when climbing on a pole. It's probably faster to go above, but I feel like it'd be kind of hard to then navigate all the way down here. Grab this pole. Bit of lag, yes. Hopefully that's not a problem. I don't like that it's back though. So that means it could happen more if it wants. I still don't know why it does that. Because like some streams it's perfectly fine, no drop frames at all, and then some streams it breaks several times. I guess I could try like restarting my computer before the stream. This stream might be kind of bad if I accidentally stab a neuron. Because the inspector's down there watching me. I don't think they can throw vertically though. So since he's down there, I'm pretty much safe. Thinking about it. I just hope I can still submit a run if it has a bit of lag in it. I know that one thing that I could do to help would be to like also record the run while streaming at the same time. So stream and record it so that if the stream breaks, then at least I still have the recording. That works. But I feel like recording at the same time would just make it more likely to like not stream properly. And my computer isn't the best. I mean, I guess I don't really know. I haven't really I haven't tested this thoroughly. But if I can like limit the amount of stuff that my computer has to do, then I'll take it if it can improve the quality of the stream or the game while I'm playing. Because of course, if I knew that my computer could handle it, I would like max out all the settings and I wouldn't really worry about it at all. Can I get into here? It's good. This is the faster path through this room. If I ever, I have it on my other monitor now. If I ever see it dropping frames, I'm just going to pause the game so that I don't actually lose any like gameplay. There we go, made it through Pebbles. I think fairly smoothly. Small improvements to be made, but I think it's good enough for this run. But now we go through Underhang. I don't really have that much experience with Underhang with creatures. Hopefully it's not that bad. But I'll try to shelter often in this attempt. And I still have the Karma Flower, so that should mean that well, hopefully it means that I don't have to ever like Karma Cache or look for food to farm Karma. Messed up the backflip. So you're saying that I could record it and it wouldn't really sacrifice that much performance? I suppose I could test it out. Maybe I could do like some slightly less important speedrun. Just as a test. To see if I can like record it at the same time without any problems. So there's a white lizard somewhere here. He might be camping right at the exit there. Surely you noticed. Through the pipe. That's baloney. I think that's just something that's kind of inconsistent. You can make it back through the pipe if there's a creature following you, and sometimes not. That was a spider. If the spider and lizard want to fight, go ahead. Doing it again. That's great. That's wonderful. Lag seems server side. I suppose like if OBS has some difficulty connecting with YouTube, that's like the cause of the drop frames. Hello, welcome to the stream. Like rooms like that. I don't even see creatures in that room very often. Oh, I thought I could like snipe them from there. Okay, maybe if I run past, you won't be able to see me, but I got the pearl down here. Internet speed issue? I am using wired internet. It's maybe a stupid idea. That worked out perfectly. Although there's a white lizard down there. Okay, nice hit. Oh, this is not a fun room. Multi-platform streaming on one computer is not great. Oh, that's wonderful. Okay, hopefully the red lizard doesn't come back. I mean, I suppose that could be the problem, the way I have multi-streaming set up. Oh, please don't. Shelter here. Also, all the things that I saw that could restream for you required some sort of subscription, which I would like to avoid. Of course, another option is just to not multi-stream. Choose some platform to focus on. There's only ever really a few viewers on Twitch anyway. It's usually YouTube that's more. Right, there's more viewers. But also, like, most of the Rain World community streams on Twitch. So sometimes actually I see like other live streamers that I follow go up on the Twitch side of things. And I think Twitch is closer to the kind of platform that I would prefer streaming on. Like if I could choose. I don't need to go up here. Rain World streamers on Twitch. Yeah, there's a lot of them. I mean, not really a lot of them. Still a pretty small game, of course, but a lot more than on YouTube. There's like not many on YouTube at all. Going pretty good so far. Less competition. I don't think that's really a problem. Because, I mean, some viewers have mentioned that they preferred these streams over some other more popular streams, whether because the way that my streams are or because they're not as popular. Oh goodness. Yeah, I just threw that into the pit. From the other like YouTube Rain World streamers that I've seen, I don't think there's going to be many like much like overlap. And plus we're probably rarely streaming at the same time anyway. So that's why I sheltered there. I mean, I've seen some of you move over to the Twitch if, for example, if the YouTube stream isn't working. So I know that like some of you are flexible with that. Something that's actually funny you mentioned that. I really dislike it when streamers have just a whole bunch of stuff going on in their stream at all times. As if they're like they aren't very interesting, so they have to like put other things into the stream to actually make it like have a reason for people to stick around at all. Oh, come on. Like anyone, I mean, of course these streamers can do whatever they want. It's just that I personally don't really enjoy it as much. But now he comes back. Anything, if any chat has like a bot that people can interact with. But, like this is the kind of thing I've seen sometimes on Twitch where it's a maybe like they can play games in the chat by typing commands and stuff. Like at that point, people aren't really watching the stream to watch the stream. They're just like there to like play some random game, you know? I'd like to do a backflip, please. Okay, that was just about as good as it could have gone given the situation. Is it even worth going back? Yeah, last stream YouTube just kept breaking on me. I think what happened, I think the problem was if OBS loses connection with YouTube, it will try to reconnect, but after a certain number of reconnect attempts, it just gives up entirely. I think that's what happened. Eventually it just like stopped trying to reconnect at all. Which, I mean, probably meant that it was just going to continue to break anyway. Is that a drop loop? Uh-oh. Nice dodge. That was just unnecessary at that point, but I'd rather them not be a problem later. I need to eat this popcorn plant. Also, the cycle, yeah, it's fine. It always just rains here a little bit, so it's not really the cycle get close to its end. I hate this transition right here. There's nothing. I think that even if there is a white lizard right there, that's like camouflage, it won't even show on the slug senses. Creatures that are like trying to hide won't be immediately detected, which makes sense. Like if it's hard to see them in game, it could also be hard to see them on the map. Okay, at least I see them on the map. They're a bit far away. But also that means I'm going to have to... Oh, is the blue lizard dead? It actually looks like it. And now it's got the drop hook, that's good. But I don't have to deal with them. Don't mind me. And that also gets rid of the drop hook that would usually be right here. That bothered me in previous attempts. Okay. I was thinking of throwing it and then doing an extended slide, but you just don't throw it far enough. Okay, this is actually going pretty well. Other than like one death so far? Was it just one death? Honestly, if I finish this attempt, I'm just ending the stream. Like no more Spearmaster. If I die a lot though, I'll try another attempt. Kind of awkward movement. This is the kind of a bad cycle since gravity is going to come back to normal once I actually want it to be off. In this room, although that could have been worse. That was actually pretty good timing for it to come back on, but I have to wait for this again. Ideally, it would be on until this very moment where it would turn off, but I mean, that's still pretty good. What happened? Okay. That's not great since I'm also going to have to wait here again. But we didn't die. I just didn't want to risk. I think I could have like jumped down and you know, do something there, but at the risk of potentially dying to the zappers. I'm moving up slightly. Not a problem. So I know where I should stand here about this position. Too far. Okay, I'll fall down there anyway. It's better to go above it than below. If I have to go lag spike in game, not the stream. Now it's this room where I always... Oh, I actually don't have Neuron Glow for some reason. I thread the needle with that. Kind of hate the environment here. For Review the End for Saints, you go through here in both runs. Just a lot of like weird pulls and blocks in the way. Yeah, I never stabbed a neuron, I guess. I was kind of scared of the inspectors in some rooms. I can get one right here. Not like I really need to see. That's a little too far. That's still fine. Like, there we go. I actually jump high enough in this room to make it up in... Like, it's not normal gravity, it's pretty low gravity at that point. Okay, not really great there. It's fun all over the place. Yeah, just wait for gravity to change. Gravity's still low enough for me to make that. I think Ramble makes a good game for streaming in the first place. Alright, we made it to Moon. Perfect spear placement. I definitely think I've sacrificed something by streaming this game. Well, just kind of by playing it a lot in general. I think that Rainworld is incredible at immersion. Because it kind of like tries to convince you that it's not really a game. If that makes sense. But it kind of ignores a lot of like basic game mechanics. That would kind of like make you think that it is a game. Or that are usually seen in like most video games. Does Spoon kill you? Probably not. I don't think so. 3 to 4 hours of getting stuck in the industrial. I mean, I like seeing streams of people playing the game for the first time because you get to see them react to all the like crazy stuff going on. But usually that's after skipping past several hours of wandering around in outskirts. It's kind of sad because it feels like they really aren't enjoying the game. And I understand that. But eventually, you know, they kind of pick it up and eventually get going to some of the more interesting regions. Our raid. Hello, raiders. Welcome to speedrunning. We're just hanging out with Moon at the moment. The one part of the speedrun where I'm actually not doing anything at all. Skippable cutscene. With Pebbles, the first time that you meet Pebbles, he has a whole lot of things to say to you. But then on future attempts, they kind of skip through a bunch of that dialogue at first, which makes the speedrun real fast because you usually just exit out of the game right then. Not for Moon though. I mean, I'd pretty much only skip the... Okay, I can't throw the pearl up. Started game recently. Hope you're having a good time with it. Funny enough, we were actually just talking about how streamers like, or how Rainworld is for streamers to play it for the first time. This is a Spearmaster story percent run. I suppose that if you new to Rainworld, this is kind of spoilery. But yeah, the goal of this is to go to Pebbles, which I've already done. Then from there to visit Moon, and then back to from where I came from, and then past that to go to Sky Islands. In between Pebbles and Moon, there is Underhang and Precipice, which are two of the hardest regions in the game. And in this run, just got the shaded. Yeah, don't look at any of this. Spoilers. Yeah, we have to visit Pebbles first. Don't look to the moon. I mean, I've never tested in a speedrun to like try to throw stuff at Moon to speed it up, but I've just been kind of scared to try it out every time. I suppose I could test it like outside of a speedrun, of course. Spearmaster non-story percent. So there's usually like there's a few categories for the downpour slug guts. One of them could be ascension percent, which would be going around to find echoes to get your karma high enough, and then you would go into the depths to like do the normal ending that Survivor does. Pretty much all the downpour slug guts can do that except for one of them, but I don't want to elaborate too much on that. Story percent is pretty much just finishing their main campaign in the way that it's intended, or like plus any other thing that they are expected to do in their campaign. Like Monk, for example. Monk canonically does a bunch of things related to Moon, and so in their story percent speedrun, you go and do all of those things, even though they're technically not required to beat the game. Another category for Spearmaster here is the, I don't know what it's called exactly, but this pearl that I'm carrying is a big part of the run. Because you have to carry it all the way from Pebbles to Moon and then back. And it makes the run a lot more difficult. So you have to carry an item for like half of the run. So there's a category, or there's an option in the remix settings that lets you teleport with passages. Lets you teleport with items. So you can basically use teleports to bring this pearl around instead of carrying it with you the whole time. And it also, since it'd make the backtracking a lot faster, since you don't have to walk back manually, you can just teleport. So that would be its own category, a run where you use teleports, but I think it's kind of implied that you're supposed to carry the pearl around. Because normally you can passage with items, as long as you put them in your stomach, but Spearmaster doesn't have a mouth, so you can't do that. You won't get anything spoiled? Alright. There's also any percent, which is kind of redundant for the downpour slug cuts. But any percent is just getting an ending as fast as possible, which is usually the depths ending. There's a few like skips you can do to get past the guardians. But that's usually not as interesting as the category, because it's the same goal for all the slug cuts. I like how you can actually just bounce off the ceiling here. Any percent is more interesting as rivulets, as gourmand, and as survivor. I think they have more interesting runs because they have either a unique guardian skip or like a unique route to the depths. But for Spearmaster, you start in the same location as survivor, so it's just a slightly harder survivor any percent run. I need to stay in this shelter because I went through the gate at the beginning of this cycle, so I have to stay in a shelter before going through the gate again. Many people who don't bring the pearl and get soft locked. I mean, if you're familiar with the game, Pearl, who's that? Moon is the character that is associated with pearls, right? So you get this new pearl, you're like, alright, I guess I better bring it to Moon. But I guess, you know, the game never really tells you that exactly. You know, I decided that I'm just gonna go down here. And Pebble, there like isn't even really any dialogue from Pebbles that suggest what you should do. There's a way to glitch a singularity bomb. You could probably get a singularity bomb, right? Elite scavengers can spawn as Spearmaster, and they can spawn with a singularity bomb with a very small chance. Yeah, I think it's an unfortunate part of the campaign. Here's the character. Their ability is to create spears, and they can hold 2 spears at the same time. Crazy, right? Well, how about here's a pearl? And you have to hold a pearl, so that means that you can't hold 2 spears at the same time. And since you're probably going through, or you might want to go through Underhang and Precipice, you're probably going to want to bring a grapple worm too, so that means you just can't hold any spears at all. Have fun. And I think it was around the point, for a lot of people that I've seen play Spearmaster, when they realized they had to bring the pearl around, they're like, oh gosh, this is going to get a lot more difficult. Because Spearmaster is already a difficult character without the pearl. Sorry, I see a lot of stuff happening in the chat, but I kind of have to focus. Don't catch up with me. That was way too close. Goodness. Game can be incredibly stressful. I almost missed that grapple. I mean, I did miss the grapple. Then it wasn't really that bad. I'm alive. And I have to go up here. That was unnecessary. You don't really need to go up there. I think I went up there though, so I don't have to deal with the lizard. There could be a lizard or a dropwig in this room. I'm going to take this popcorn plant for safety. I could probably make it at least to the wall shelter. I'd rather not risk that. I might die to scavengers here. Don't see any for now. Okay. I got scared by that dropwig, but we don't have to go that way. So I missed a few of the comments. Any glitches in Rainbow speedruns? One glitch that I've seen in a few runs that's like actually looked like an interesting speedrun glitch has to do with reindeer called deer skip. Basically, if you're holding a spore puff and a deer wants to eat it, and then you swallow the spore puff, the game will kind of break because the spore puff that the deer was just looking for suddenly disappeared. And depending on the order at which the creatures enter the room, like I think the deer has to already be in the room and you have to enter after it. Then like all the physics of the game will break except for movement. So you'll be able to walk past the worm grass because they won't be updated while the game is broken. And it basically lets you skip the entire, like any long room with worm grass, lets you just skip them entirely. And it looks like the game is completely broken since the like graphics aren't updated except for which room you're in. And that's probably like the biggest example of like a completely game-breaking glitch. Because this game honestly does not have that many glitches, it just has a lot of like small unintended exploits. Streaming to another site, I'm on YouTube. I think I have my channel linked in the description of my channel. If you want to find that. It's probably confusing for a bit when it seems like I'm just talking to nobody. Okay, good thing I saw that guy. I guess that he made some noise. Also, it's funny that we go back through the room where we initially get the grapple worm. Like, this grapple worm is finally returned to his home, but then we keep going. Sorry, I heard a lizard. I think I heard something. Maybe I'm hallucinating. I'm going to just hang out here. Spider shouldn't be able to reach me. Okay, he can climb on walls. I forgot. Luckily, he's kind of stupid. That was close. Goodbye, spider. Yeah, I guess in that case, you can just like passage back to Pebbles to grab the pearl. Okay, I don't know what is up with this wall, but it's impossible to spear sometimes. Just a regular spider. I want to take this movement safe. There's optimization that can be made here, but I would rather finish the run than like do it very quickly. If that lizard grabbed the pearl, the run would be over. I really don't want to risk just like running past. But this lizard can't really do anything to like move out of the way. This is the predicament. Yeah, if you want to climb up the ceiling, that would be cool. I have an opportunity to hit him. Don't kill me while injured. Okay, I probably could have just done that to get past him in the first time, but I'm not risking a scenario like that this late into the run. So this little bit right here on the way to the wall is also quite dangerous due to scion lizards and scavengers at drop wigs. Just to say, no spears, of course. Okay, that was kind of lucky that there was a spear and a rock there for me. Appreciating the slight that I got from Moon. Spearmasters, I mean, I really don't like Spearmaster either. I feel like for a campaign that's about traveling across many like very horizontal regions to deliver a message, yeah, come down here. Try to get me. But for a campaign that's about like... Oh my gosh. Can I even get back up here? Maybe with enough speed. That's kind of close. Nice. That's another one. I don't know if I can just run away fast enough for to fight them. I think all the other lizards fell out of the room, so I don't need to worry about them. Okay, that's the one down there. If that was the sound of a lizard from above, I would not be happy about that. Okay. I will keep going. This should be... Okay, there's like a minute left, but I'll need to get past like 3 rooms. And then it's a shelter. So honestly, if it starts raining, that makes it easier to get past any creatures that might get in the way. But yeah, as I was saying, for a campaign that's all about traveling across very long horizontal rooms, I feel like a character like Artificer or Rivulets would be better suited. Maybe not Rivulet, because you wouldn't be able to utilize any like underwater areas. Like, it'd be cool if Artificer had this kind of campaign, because you'd have so many opportunities to use the explosive jump in Underhang and Precipice, and when navigating inside the iterators, because you could use explosive jumps when in zero gravity to move around, and it's like a lot of fun. But you never get to do that in Artificer's campaign. I think it's like a kind of big missed opportunity that like the least mobile character with the most dangerous spawns is the one that gets this campaign. And like I guess Rivulets and Artificer campaigns are fine. But, like, Rivulet makes a lot of sense as a messenger. I mean, they don't even need to be an aquatic character. This is just kind of because the character designs were set in stone before all like the regions and campaigns were created. Rivulet was already the fast, agile, like aquatics like that, so they had to create an aquatic region for them. Or I think that the region was a separate thing, and then Rivulet just kind of fit with that region that was created, or the idea at least. But Rivulet could have just been a regular, just like agile character. I mean, I guess that makes them kind of less special. Like, they're just Survivor but faster. Whereas Rivulet also has the like the whole aquatic thing going on, especially with like the raining and the flooding. It kind of fits with that. I hate when the lizard is right there, because they don't like to move from that location. And also, the moment you come out of the pipe, they're like immediately ready to bite you. That was kind of close. We're good. If you get a Squid Cata, yeah, if you want to hold on to another item, Squid Cata or Grapple Worm. Alongside the Pearl, probably. Right as he was jumping, goodness. Poor Grapple Worm is so lost. I don't think there's any Grapple Worms in Sky Islands, right? So they're just alone now. Oh, great. Okay, good thing I hit them there. Excuse me. Just want to make sure that they're dead so they don't, like, kill me out of nowhere. I've never been more scared. Or maybe when I heard the sound of a Miros Vulture at the end of the Rivulet speedrun. Oh yeah, it takes two hands to hold Squid Cata. If I just jumped off the edge there. I think it still counts as a win if you jump off, but there we go. It's funny that it went from dying like 20 times in Industrial to a full successful attempt with a single death. But there we go. Finally done with Spearmaster. I'm happy with this run. Not sub 110, but close enough, I'd say. But for Spearmaster, I think that the rest of their campaign is totally fine. When I was playing casually, I had a lot of fun exploring the regions around Moon, like Precipice, Waterfront Facility, all of Moon, the like exterior of Moon. All those regions are fun to explore if you don't have to worry about the Pearl. And I think that's the main problem with the campaign. Like they're a fun character to play most of the time because they're pretty much just Hunter. And if you play them as Hunter, where you just run around and like just like fighting creatures with like 2 hands for spears, I think it's like a fun character. But the moment you pick up the Pearl, it just gets a lot worse because you either have to hold some other item to help you, like a Vulture Mask or a grapple worm, which means that you don't have any room to hold spears. Or you go all the way, or you don't take the underhang precipice route, and instead you go through like garbage wastes or shaded. Any way that goes down those regions over to like Moon's exterior is like a much longer and more difficult journey, as opposed to underhang and precipice. So like there's not really a good way to actually do the campaign. Through 2 passages, not even trying to. So 2 deaths in this run. I'm not sure how much time that lost, but I think that it wasn't that bad, right? It's always funny when you get this many kills in a speedrun. 5 drop wigs, a whole king vulture. Like that's a decent score for a speedrun. I'm not exactly sure what I should do now. I finished my goal and it's only about an hour into the stream. I don't really want to try another attempt. Oh, it's even... This might be the time without deaths, which is what I thought that the other time was, which was an hour and 4 minutes. This is something that really confuses me about this campaign. There's 3 different timers. The in-game timer, which was 1:10, roughly. This one is 1:07, and then the result screen was 1:04. So, you know, who knows how long it really took. I'll like figure out the timing later when I submit this run. Hopefully the little bit of dropped frames here and there isn't that big of a problem. I tried to pause when it did do that, so it shouldn't have like skipped past any gameplay. Have I beaten Inv? I have not. I never really want to touch that character at all. Well, alright, here, let's try something else that I've been doing. Trying to beat it. Good luck with that. What am I looking for? Actually, I should undo that. Yeah, you have to, it doesn't let you. Rotund world? No. Remake settings. I just disabled something. More Slick X expansion. Keep that on. Why am I bad at this? Remix. Turn this on. That's all I wanted to do. And now I can turn on the other mods, because for some reason you can't do it the other way around. There we go. Which characters do I have left to speedrun? I have yet to finish a Artificer speedrun. I'm still kind of on break for that. Although, you know, I may choose to do some attempts here and there on my own time. Also enjoy the black screen. Every time this shows up, I think like, oh, I should do something. I should put something here, so it's not just completely empty. But then I don't know what I should put. But we're back. So what I'm thinking of is, oh, also there's Saint, which I have done speedruns of Saint, but only any percent, which is slightly different from story percent. That's what I'm going to do next. Next week will be Saint speedrunning, which is great because I actually enjoyed that speedrun. But this is the other one that I've been thinking about. I already have the world record in the Revisit Story % run, but I've been thinking of ways to potentially improve it. So, you know, I as well do a few practice runs here. What I'm doing is I have 2 mods enabled, other than what is usually allowed for speedruns. Yes, that is what you do in story %. So the only difference between that and any % is any % is a little bit faster since you don't have to shelter in the iterator regions to stick around to do that. There's some like different routing, like when you get the ability and when you like have to go ascend them. But anyway, the mods that I have enabled, other than the ones that I normally have for speedruns, is a mod that disables creatures, so you won't be seeing many creatures in this run. Except for jetfish, because they're immune for some reason. But I know why, but... And the other mod is Beastmaster, so that I can spawn in a grapple worm where I would normally get one in a run. And the reason I'm doing this is just so I can focus on movement. I don't really want to die to random lizards 20 times. That's unfortunate. I just want to practice this movement because the movement is the main thing that's changed since the world record speedrun. I've found a few more places to do interesting movement. I think I should put something on the screen that explains that this is no longer Spearmaster. Whenever I do practice runs, I should really turn off karma requirements because then I have to stop the karma cache. Apparently the any % speedrun for the inverted slow cat isn't actually that bad. It's like not that different from a regular any % speedrun, but it's the story % run that it sounds kind of awful because I think that involves going to pebbles to some degree. I have no idea what it does. Or maybe echoes. I don't know enough about that campaign, but I'm fine with that. All I know is that there's a story % speedrun that's like 2 hours long, and there's a 100% speedrun that's like 6 hours long. I do not know. You can go check that run at the end. Okay, so after completing the Spearmaster run, I think that it might be slightly closer between Artificer and Spearmaster, on like whichever one is more difficult. It really depends on like what difficulty really means for a speedrun. Whether it means just finishing the run in the first place, or finishing the run efficiently, or like without using save strategies. So I think like for Artificer, right, the main difficulty is usually past Metropolis. So if you want, you could take a shelter at the start of Metropolis as well as before the last few rooms, right? And those are the rooms where you're probably going to die. So if you die, you know, you only lose like a minute having to walk back. But like actually finishing on with no deaths at all, as well as like no unnecessary shelters, that's a lot more difficult. because you have to get past the room with all the scavengers in it, plus beat the Scav King on your first try. And if you consider those as part of like the full speedrun, then that's like incredibly difficult. Because I spent like several streams doing attempts and I never succeeded once. And I only got to the Scav King like once or twice. No plink. It does include it? That's funny. I messed up. Full hop. Okay, let me try this again. Let me try this again. There we go. Whenever I'm doing these practice runs, I like to retry areas if I mess up the movement, just so that I know that I can actually do it correctly, which I apparently have forgotten how to do this. There we go. Here's where the movement gets really interesting. Just kidding. There we go. So all is right there, right here. There's a few more. Right here, right here, right there. And there we go, that's the last one. For chimney, at least. Ultra wall jump. I don't really know what the developer were thinking when they made rivulets. Like, yeah, let's just put a multiplier on everything. This won't be broken at all. And then, after creating the base moveset, they decided that it was a good idea to add the refraction cell to the campaign. Like, no, this movement isn't extreme enough. That was a weird wall bounce. There we go. All of that is like pretty much the main difference between this and the world record run. All those wall bounces and chimney. You can also do a slide bounce in these gates like that. Although timing is actually not that easy. So there's a problem here. I'm at 5 karma right now, which means that if I die, I don't have enough karma to get into pebbles, and not enough food to karma cache. So it means that the run is over if you die here. Of course, it's not a problem if I'm just going to restart the run anyway. But if you're not going to restart, then you just lose the run, because you can't really get food easily from that position. So this is why I have this mod enabled. You usually find a grapple room right here, but I have creatures disabled, so I have to spawn one in manually. I messed up there. Let's try that all again. Bankrolled on drugs. Rivet is also even more extreme if you eat a mushroom first. Also, yeah, it definitely is possible to not stay in that shelter if you want to go continue up the wall. Because there's only like a few rooms that you have to get past while it's raining. It makes the one room, that room where like the rain The last room where the rain affects you, the rain constantly pushes you down, although it's not lethal. That room can be slightly annoying because of the push down effect, but it's possible to get around it. But we have discovered that going through underhang is just faster than the wall. I'll feel slower with the grapple worm. Maybe there's some kind of movement that you can do that's like that could avoid using the grapple worm that may be faster, but I haven't really looked into it. And the grapple worm just makes so much sense here. You could do this. You can almost die, that's what. Then we no longer need him. Fun fact, most campaigns, most like story percent speedruns for Downpour, except for Artificers, involve grapple worm movement. And if not grapple worm, just like tongue movement in general, because Gourmand can craft a grapple worm before Outer Expanse, and that's useful for a few areas. Rivulets uses the grapple worm right here in Underhang. Spearmaster uses the grapple worm all throughout Underhang. Oh goodness, that was close. Underhang at Precipice, as well as on the way back. And Snape just has default, or just has a grapple worm by default. So I hope you like grapple movement. This might be a bad cycle. Luckily not. Although I do need to be careful here. There we go. I love that turn storage is actually useful in areas like that. I want to grab a neuron here. Makes some later parts of the run easier as well, as because I need extra food to shelter. I don't know if I've even ever used a grapple worm as Artificer. Okay, I don't want to go up here. Okay, gravity turned off, we can still make it through this room by doing that. And then by doing this. What if charge storage has been an intended mechanic? Probably not, but it's just kind of a property of how the system works. A lot of the movement that we use in speedruns is probably not exactly intended, but also the developers probably know about it and don't really care about removing it. Okay, not a great spot to be in. But also time to eat the neuron. This whole area you have to constantly be switching between what your like zero gravity strategy and your regular gravity strategy. I don't want to go down there because there's evil stuff. But this is a pretty good cycle. I can do this. Forgot to reset your jump frame counter when entering non-jump states. Just some like weird property of how the movement system works. Turn storage is probably like when you're just standing normally. You have this kind of like turnaround value that is pretty much exclusively used for like backflips. But if you crouch in the middle of a turn, then it doesn't remove your turning property because you're no longer standing. So it means that the next time that you are standing, it doesn't, like, you still have part of that a bit of that variable left. And all the same for jump boost. Artifice is actually worse with the grapple worm. That's fun. Not like you would really want to use them anyway, because Artificer has some of the best movement. It's actually hard for me to say which of the characters has the best movement between Rivulet, Artificer, and Saint. So if they're in like a long, like flat stretch of ground, Rivet is probably faster than all of them. Although if there's a ceiling, Saint may be faster. But there's a lot of like obstacles and like poles to climb, then Artificer might be faster. Probably not Artificer because of the cooldown between jumps. It says I forgot to activate the refraction, so let's not fall down there. Why? Starving. I didn't want to starve. How am I starving? I thought I ate a neuron. Oh, I forgot a fruit. A single fruit that I get in the route, I forgot to grab. Okay, well, I have a plan for this. Since this is not a real speedrun attempt, I'll just give myself food. But remember not to starve in an actual run. There's a fruit that I get on the way to Pebbles that I forgot to pick up. Right. You can't do that. Don't do this in an actual run. There's a cursor on my screen. Yeah, I know. I'll get rid of it. I think it is the Beastmaster mod that keeps the cursor on screen. So you have to use it to like select all this stuff. So whenever I have that mod enabled, the cursor just automatically shows up. It adds flavor. Yeah, maybe I'll just leave it. So I spent like 2 minutes on that. I don't care too much about the time that this running gets, but I just do like to, get through the whole thing to get more consistent at this run. Big speedrun detection. Well, that's not really a big deal because you can always... You're required to have the speedrun validation option on, which shows all the mods that you have enabled in loading screens. So we always see what mods that we have enabled. Okay. Okay. That's never happened before. Okay, enough of that. I think I might have moved too far forward before doing the roll. I didn't get the full height of the jump. I'm gonna check back and see what I did. Yeah, I did the jump immediately after landing. Scuffed for speedrun. Is that a bomb? What, this thing I'm holding? Yeah, this is the rarefaction cell. It can lower the effective gravity on me. So that rivet can jump even higher than they can already jump. Can I? No. Okay, that's I mean that's a new strategy that I've been doing recently, because I usually would grab onto the pole there. That's the first time it didn't work. You can modify the speedrun validation. Yeah, I'm just giving you all like an example of how not to speedrun. Everything that I've been doing, don't do it. Bottomless pitfall skip. Yeah, this is RNG manipulation. It's gonna make the second half of the run a lot faster. Once we get there. So theoretically, you could enable whatever mods you want and then modify the speedrun validation so that it's... No, that might just not be that much slower anyway. But then just modify the speedrun validation so that it shows as if you don't have those mods enabled. That's that jump. I've never messed that jump up before. I guess I was prepared for Spearmaster speedruns and not reveal it. Not something seen often in random speedruns. What are you referring to specifically? Can you submit an 80% run that lasts over 90 hours? Probably not. Some pretty slow speedruns have been allowed on the leaderboards. The Gourmand world record was like over an hour for, or like I think it was over 2 hours for a point. And the Spearmaster one was like over 3 hours for a while too. The runs that are like significantly longer than what's possible have like existed, but like 90 hours, that's like so far. That's like so far ahead of like what is like even expected like slow time. Like you could maybe if you did an 80% run in like an hour. If you finish the run in an hour, that might be allowed. But at some point, it's just like not even a speedrun anymore. Pretty big video file. Let's compress it a lot. There we go. That's all I had to do. No, just kidding. Don't do that. I've decided that today would be the day that I found all the ways to mess up here, even though I've never done it before. You ever seen those? Never mind. I mean, I don't even think you're like required to submit a video along with speedrun submissions, unless you're like at a certain level. Like if you submit a like couple of % run that's like 50th on the leaderboard, I don't even know if there's 50 runs in total. But like you don't need a video proof for that kind of run. But if you submit a run that's like potentially like 3rd place on the leaderboards, then you do need a video for that. I don't like that I had the refraction cell activated that late. Let's do the roll probably here and the slide. I guess I have to like be careful grabbing onto that pole. Sometimes if you're just moving too fast, you just like don't grab a pole for some reason. The movement here could probably be improved, but I don't really want to risk going too high into the rot on the ceiling. I kind of want to do that though. Take like an entire speed run, maybe the Speedmaster run that I just did, and like compress it so that I can, like, you can send it over Discord, because Discord has a file size limit on like videos that you can send. So maybe you have to just compress it enough to send over Discord. No, I went this way. Like, hey, here's an entire like hour-long speed run. How bad pixelation, the like resolution? Probably like bad enough so that you can't read the speedrun validation. But if you like have a not great computer and recording your game like really lags it a lot, then you could probably get away with submitting some like pretty low quality videos if that's what you have to do to actually like run the game at a decent frame rate. I mean, if your computer is that bad, it probably just struggles with playing brain world at all. So I've decided from this point on, I'm not going to make any mistakes anymore. I've already used up all my mistakes in underhangs, so that should be the last of them. If only that's how it worked. Okay. Some mistakes there. Okay, I almost fell right into that rock. I was kind of worried about that. 5 FPS speedrun. And some parts of the Spearmaster run were probably 5 FPS. I don't really like the movement here, especially since there's also orange lizards. Also, something that they still haven't fixed. When you're above the screen, the camera doesn't move. I mean, I know that the camera system... I mean, actually, I don't really know how the camera works. But I think that it's like a big rectangle. And once you enter the rectangle, the camera switches to that zone. Oh. So if you go above the screen, like, it's not going to snap you to a camera because there isn't a camera up there. And they'd probably have to manually go through every single room and like set a camera up there that just links back down to the camera below. Camera scroll. Never. So there's wall pounces in this area. I don't actually know if they're worth doing. It's definitely not, doesn't work out in this room. But in this room maybe, although there's usually a bunch of spiders here. Like, you can do that, but for some reason you'd like go upside down. Okay, 1 FPS is probably too far. Maybe like 12 FPS is like the lower bound for what it should be. Because that's like how fast it needs to be a video instead of like a slideshow. I don't really like that landing there. So, okay, I ate that karma flower there, but I'm probably just going after karma cache anyway. Probably right now. Get past the gates. I should have turned off karma requirements. Follow the cell. I can't do that. Is the commentary included? And what video? Okay, discovered a new way to crash the game. Oh, it's like completely crashed. I can't do anything. Okay. Welcome back to the void. Alright, well, I might as well finish the run. So I'm going to enable a few more mods to make the rest of this easier, so I don't have to redo anything. Dev tools, warp menu, that's it. Oh, I'm probably gonna have to close the game again. 12 FPS, 144p, voice changer. At that point, like, you're doing it on purpose. Like, it'd be better if you just recorded your screen with your phone instead of using any like recording software. Where are the void worms? Right, maybe that's what I should add in the background for when the game is closed. Oh, I can't use well, maybe I can. Shoreline. There's a lot of gates. Here we are. So I should be able to... There we go. Here's a refraction cell. But like recording it with your... Oh, I think I'm on the other side. Yeah, because I'm technically in shoreline. Dogs barking in the background. Alright, now we can continue like normal. What's even happening? Welcome to the Spearmaster. Just doing, you know, regular Spearmaster attempts. But it's actually taken so long to finish a run that we've actually ended up in the future. So now we're at Reveal. Drop the phone mid-run. What are we creating here? And then the run is actually like a world record. It's like, sorry guys, this is the best that I could record it. It's the Spearmaster. Okay, so yeah, we're talking about like the worst possible speedrun possible in regards to like what quality is required for a run to be allowed as a official speedrun on the leaderboards. But yeah, so for this stream, we started with Spearmaster, did like a few attempts where I died early on in the run, and then it was like pretty early on where I actually got an attempt that was really good, and I ended up finishing the run in about an hour, 10 minutes, 30 seconds. I think it's roughly what the time was. So I'm really happy with that run. It's not world record. I've seen someone do a run that was an hour and 8 minutes, I believe. So close to world record. I don't know if that run was world record either. You know, we can just do this. There we go. But I'm happy enough with it so that I'll never touch Spearmaster again. So we're done with those speedruns. Unless there's like a big update to the route that makes it a lot easier. Dev tools. Remember to turn those off. And so now that I've finished Spearmaster, there's a lot of time left in the stream, so I decided to do some rivulet practice. So I'm thinking about improving the world record time that I have, which is mostly in Chimney Canopy. That's where most of the time save is. But you know, it also helps to practice the later parts of the run too. Why did I wait for that gate? You have to wait for the gate animation to finish to load the next region in. If you teleport to the other side of the gates, it just won't let you go through the pipe because the next region hasn't loaded yet. So staying in the gate and waiting for that animation is what loads in the next region. There's always a leg spike right there. Google Slides. So Google Slides, like 12 FPS. Every frame is a different slide. Images from your phone of the screen. Last stream, yeah, so the last stream that I did yesterday, it totally broke. OBS was not happy that day for some reason. And I think that it tried to reconnect to YouTube so much that it just gave up. Because there's only a certain number of attempts that it tries to reconnect. At which point it just determines that it's impossible to connect and it doesn't keep trying. commentate over the slides. So what do you record with your phone? Do you record the game or the slides, or do you record both? record the screen with your phone on that, like a time-lapse mode where it takes a picture every like second or so. Maybe that'd be too slow though. Oh, is it the game crash? Yeah, the game broke. So welcome back to the void. If that happens in an actual run, you just can't finish it. It lowers your karma level, even if you have a karma flower, so you have to stay in the shelter to have enough karma to enter moon. So that loses you a lot of time, and I've lost speedruns to it. Luckily, if you exit out of the game, you do return here, even if it does lower your karma. Wrong type of wall pounce there. I don't know what causes that. I wonder if you could do this. That's not really that much faster. Expedition song. No, because we had to play Randworld, but you play it anyway. That's most players probably. It's kind of the point of the game, isn't it? On the mobile, yeah, you could play Randworld on your phone. I always forget about that. That exists. It's an unofficial like port, right? So you do the speedrun on your phone, but you record it with another phone. All right. Well, I can just I can't get past that gate. Oh, that's loud. I won't do that. Okay, I'm not gonna. That's what it sounds like to speed up the game, but for some reason it's real loud. I'll play the sound for this frame. So the sound is attached to each individual frame. Astral's on phone, probably the same way you do it on controller. If that's how it works. Actually, I haven't seen it that much. If I can own one of the slug cats as a pet. Maybe monk. They're like the least dangerous and like more like chill slug cats. Like Rivet is cool, but they're like way too energetic. Holes on the floor there are kind of awkward to get around. Maybe Saints. That sounds kind of dangerous. I've never seen this in the background. That's interesting. Anyway, that's the run. 32, 46 with like a whole bunch of deaths. Kind of want to see the results screen at the end. Play Rainworld on your phone, recording it with a different phone at 12 FPS, 144p. Convert those images into a PowerPoint presentation, and then record yourself with the phone again, commentating over the whole speedrun frame by frame. And then submit that to speedrun.com. I wonder if there's a different leaderboard for mobile speedruns. I don't know if anyone's done that. This is a nice background. I think there's always the rainbow here. I wonder if you go to this room and take that pearl, if it won't be in that ending cutscene. Three deaths. So all those deaths in Underhang only lost like 2 minutes. Anyway, that's going to be the end of the stream. Still not very long, but I finished the Spearmaster run a lot faster than expected. Whoops. This is an inaccurate timer for some reason. It was closer to 1 hour and 10 minutes. Running a non-PC version of the game. So technically, you know, you could do it. I mean, I don't know if that would get you banned. They just probably wouldn't accept the run and tell you to like record it better. It would be banned if it like involved cheating. If somehow recording all that would give you an advantage. Maybe if the run was somehow a world record run and you were trying to do all those different steps to kind of like hide whatever you did to cheat. If you did cheat. If someone wants to do that, go ahead. I kind of want to see if I can convert this Spearmaster speedrun into like a super compressed format. Better footage to be presenting. Yeah, the rest of it isn't that bad, but you just need to like have better commentary and like, you know, higher. Like we want to be able to see the frames clearly. As if the 144p isn't bad enough. Like maybe like this is ridiculous. Anyway, this is going to be the end of the stream. Next time we are going to be speedrunning Saint. I don't know if this is spoilers. Don't look at that. I don't know how many of you have finished all of Downpour. But we will be speedrunning Saint in the next stream. I may want to check out some mod. I like to kind of intersperse those between the speedruns. But Saint, unlike Spearmaster and Artificer, is actually an enjoyable character to speedrun, even if the run is a little bit long. It's probably shorter than Spearmaster. So, thanks everyone for watching. See ya.